It's live!
I may be old, but here, see all the cool bands. Oh, hey, man. I think Mike is so old that he had to go pee-pee.
No.
Hey,
No
careful.
pee-pee. Oh, wait.
Careful
I gotta
sitting down. You might hit your microphone.
I gotta fix the camera, put it back. All right, there we go. All right.
Well, thank you, Mr. Pole Vaulter.
I am the Italian pole vaulter. Maybe you've seen me in the news lately.
Yes, that is he.
But I'm a hit with the chicks.
Well, I won't say what I want to say, but okay.
What, are you jealous much?
I am very. I've watched that video like 10 times.
Why, Lord? Why? Why not
anyway,
me?
Welcome, everybody. Once again, here we are live on Wednesday nights. I am here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and with me always is my best brother.
Okay. I'm his older brother, Mike, in Amarillo. And this is my younger brother, Ron, and he is in the witness protection program.
Yeah, you'll never guess where I am.
Well,
it could be Las Vegas, New Mexico. You never know.
Could be. Pretty neck of the
Anyway,
woods.
We're here live on Are You Shitting Me? TMI, the podcast, where, as you all know, Mike and I talk about growing up in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, sometimes the 90s. And I think Mike and I are going to talk a little bit about gaming. I know we've kind of touched on this a little bit in the past, but we're going to dig a little deeper into the gaming areas of our youth. So, Mike, kick us off.
Well, the reason why we've talked about this in the past, I think 5 or 6 months ago, but we only talked about, systems and whatever back then. Today, I don't know why I crossed this bridge, but it's based on gaming today, which is, we were talking backstage and you were telling me, gaming is it's like a full-on sport these days. People train for it. But as I was thinking about it today, I thought, we were there. We were there for the beginning. We were there when there wasn't any gaming. We didn't know what a video game was. It didn't exist.
Dude, we thought Pong was like high tech.
Well, it was when it came out. Hell, we didn't know what Pong was. Pong, what the hell is that? Which brings me to the first slide of the evening.
Pong!
Pong!
For those of you that know, Pong was like a digital tennis back in the day. You literally had the little dot that went left and right, and you can move or slide your guy up or down to block the little ball from going past your pad there. But dude, we used to get in some pretty serious Pong games when we were kids.
Well, and if you could do it right, you can actually get that set up to where you can get was the ball. It would just sit there. You can watch it go back and forth because the paddles would be set right. It'd hit the paddle, bounce off the top or the bottom wall, hit the other paddle, and come back. So you can get it stuck. So we thought that was kind of a skill. And then I think at some point, because it was just a hand controller with a knob on it, oddly enough, if you hit the stupid thing right, you put some backspin on it.
Yep.
So we got that figured out. But can you imagine back then, 70s, I think it was 72, 73, hanging out at the crib, and you're literally just watching this screen and these two paddles knocking this, it's not, I guess, digital
ball.
And you're just whacking it back and forth and that was pretty much the premise. Almost as exciting as watching tennis.
I can hear the sound right now. Can you hear that?
Well, see, and I'm glad you said that, because that's the other thing I was going to ask is, when I put that up, what do you hear?
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear it? Yeah.
Boop, boop, boop. It's so funny how baby boomers and Gen Xers, we relate everything to audio and visual, especially audio, because there are certain things from when we were kids that you can hear it and it'll that quick take you right back to that moment.
Well, and
your book binder, or your binder in school opened up, the Velcro. I mean, just that little sound, or a VCR tape rewinding. Just something that.
And in some cases, you've said it before, Ron, is some of the stuff, it even brings, you can instantly smell it.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? All right, let's bring up another
Eddie
one.
Murphy said, you can smell it.
I did these in something of an order. I'm trying to take us through a progression.
Oh, please.
That I think then launched into what we see today, at least the early versions of what we see today.
Bring it on.
So here's the other one.
Oh, Asteroids, dude. That was my game. That was my game. There was, I think I told you this last time we talked about it. When back, I was probably 12 or 13 years old. I played in an Asteroids tournament in an arcade down. Shit. It must have been down off a Circle Drive somewhere. I can't remember the next street over. I can't remember, but yeah, I was a young kid. I remember going there. I had to buy a roll of quarters to play, because you had to put the quarters in the machine to play the machine. And hyperspace was my big thing on Asteroids. You could hyperspace it. You never knew where you were going to come out.
There was a little pizza shop in the little strip mall up around Carefree and what would that be, Barnes?
Yes.
So I think Steve Bracken, Steve Griffin, and some of us, we hung out there. We got to know the guy that owned the place. So every once in a while, he just hit us up with a free cheese pizza. And the only game in that restaurant was an Asteroids game. And but something you just said is another aspect of the difference then compared to now, so far as gaming goes. In order for us to, game with other people, you had to have a pocket full of quarters, man.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you had to call next game. You put the quarters up there, and but yeah, it was costly. Now we just sit around the house, and I don't know. I told Ron,
like I was telling you, Mike. Now gamers nowadays. I mean, they drop some coin. I mean, they will outfit their person or their what the fuck's the word?
Rig system.
Yeah, no, there's a movie about it. Avatar. They'll outfit their avatars, and they'll spend hundreds of dollars just buying shit for their freaking avatars. Well, and I say hundreds, it might be thousands for all the fuck I know, but I mean, yeah, it's a legit thing.
So we've gone from Pong to Asteroids, and I think this would be one of the early versions of a game like this one. Do you know what it is?
Galaxa.
Nuh-uh.
Centipede. I'm sorry.
It's Centipede.
Yeah, Centipede was above. Well, Galaga was the other one I was thinking about, but it was Asteroids, then Galaga, and Centipede was probably right up there in the top 5 of my games back in the day.
Yeah, see, I loved Galaga.
Dude, that was the bomb.
I didn't put it in here for a reason, because I want other people, whether they're tuning in now or tune in later, I want them to be able to think about that. God, I forgot about Galaga. I love Galaga. I did. Galaga, but I was laughing because you said Galaxa. I have one of my Alexas in here, and so I hear a voice talking. I'm going, what the hell? Well, it's her. And she's back here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, she's back here talking. I'm thinking,
yes, Master Mike.
I'm not even one beer into this, and I'm already hearing shit. Yeah, it was her. All right, so we'll take that one out of there. And
I'm gonna spat my beer.
So we're going to go from that to, and again, I know there were plenty of games that came between or even during a lot of these. So I want you to, we want to, even if you're here now, I want to hear from you. Or if you watch later, hit the comments. We still see them.
Yeah. Well, you know who we're missing tonight, who would be great at
game.
this, is we're missing Matt tonight. He said he wouldn't be on tonight, but we'll watch later. Yeah, he would be right up there with you and I on this stuff. But I digress. Let's continue.
What is this one?
Oh man, you can't beat Frogger. I mean, Frogger
it's Frogger.
Oh yeah, I mean they have actually on the Fire Stick has a version of this now that you can play. If you take your Fire Stick controller and you turn it sideways, and you can play it. I think it's called Frog Hop or something, but. Yeah, there's no topping Frogger.
Yeah,
the alligator comes out and chomps on you. You hop
look
on
at the graphics.
You hop on a turtle and it sinks. I mean, come on.
Yeah, for us at the time, these were amazing graphics. I mean, look, we've already moved from Pong to Asteroids, and then we moved into the one before this. I already forget what it was. Centipede, and now look at this. Can you imagine when we were 13, 14, Ron was probably, 10 years old or so. How cool was this crap?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it was color. It had, I personally loved Frogger.
I remember this on this was one of the games we still could play on the Commodore 64 before the Atari came out.
Right.
Roblox. Michelle, stop it. We're working our way up, woman.
Yeah, bear with me. Okay, we're going to take that one off there. We'll take that one off.
Michelle's talking about one of the most popular games for kids nowadays, which is Roblox, and our daughter just loves it, and they're on it constantly. Sweet.
I skipped one. There should have been one before Frogger, and it's this one. Now, I will tell you, this was my game. One of them. I was damn good at Galaga.
I can't picture that.
This is Defender.
Oh, Defender. Shit.
Yeah.
Yes, I know the name, but I don't recognize. Oh, that's right, because you used to. It had the layout up on the top where you could see where you were going and what was coming up.
You can see what's coming at you.
I gotcha.
There was a little bit of strategy in this.
Some strategy.
And, I'm sure look, by today's standards, this looks silly. At the time, this was freaking cool, dude. I mean,
this was high tech when we were kids.
I'd be dropping quarter after quarter on this game.
Amen.
Okay, I got another one for you. We're going to go from that since I've sort of messed up there. Okay. This one's number 6 in the slides, and it may surprise some people that I put it here.
Surprise me.
Because it's again, I'm trying to go through what I think was the progression.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
If you don't know this, I want to come and smack you with a hammer. I mean, between Pac-Man, Mrs. Pac-Man, Pac-Man Jr. This was
the franchise, and
this was the game of games right here.
I have to tell you, and it's wonderful because I've heard from him a couple of times this week. Steve Mann, Steve and I, that's how we met, was in college, and our hang was at the pub, and I'm telling you, there's nothing like a pub meatball sandwich. They were delicious. and they had a Defender game and a Pac-Man game. They might have had something else, but those are the only two we worried about. Can I tell you this? Steve Mann can drop a damn quarter in a Pac-Man game, and he was on it all night long. So just same quarter. And I mean, he was that good at this shit.
Just pissing people off.
Oh man, well, we were generally the only ones in there, but I'm not sure everybody knew there was a pub, and it was pretty nice. But yeah, Steve could drop a quarter in that Pac-Man game, and he'd be on it all night long, man.
Come on, Mike, give me the sound, buddy. Give me the sound.
We were the sound effects, by the way. before we got into this.
We'll love it.
All right. So I think.
But you know what's funny? Pac-Man. Not to cut you off. I'm sorry, but
yeah.
I turned Elena onto Pac-Man one time, and she just freaking loved it.
Who wouldn't love? I mean, today, who doesn't love Pac-Man?
Yeah,
Pac-Man. I think of our video game, that generation for you and me. I think Pac-Man is iconic. I got one coming that I would also put in that pantheon, but I would definitely put Pac-Man there.
Hey, stop using words.
In fact, it's the next one coming up that I would put in the pantheon. So if you went from Pac-Man, what do you think would be next? Take a wild guess. Put yourself in the arcade.
I can't think of anything. Go ahead. Oh, Donkey Kong. Dude, that's two peas in a pod. Amen.
Wouldn't you put that there? I mean, once we had Pac-Man, the progression became Donkey Kong.
And then Donkey Jr.
Yeah, right. But if you were a kid back in the day, like Ronnie and I, how many? I mean, I hesitate to think how much money in quarters I had to spend in order to really start to get real good at Donkey Kong. But I did. I became pretty good at Donkey Kong.
Yeah, because as soon as you figured out what one of the, for lack of a term, cheats was or ways to advance, you've died 50 times. And you find that one cheat, and then you die 500 times to get the next one. And then, you're I mean, fuck, we could be retired by now if we had the money we spent in arcades back then.
And I'm not sure that Donkey Kong wasn't an early introduction into the little Italian fella you're looking at there.
Oh, yeah. Mario. It's absolutely Mario and Luigi.
So, look, Donkey Kong, when it came out, because remember, there were levels of this. Remember the one where you get to a level and there were vines?
Yeah, you're swinging through it, yeah.
Yeah, it was, God, I loved them. Now, look at the progression in the graphics. Sure. Still not great, but for our world at that time, I can tell you, in fact, I can tell you where I was when I discovered Donkey Kong. I was working at A&P Automotive over by Fort Carson, and there was a little eatery in the shopping center across from us, and they had just put a Donkey Kong game in there, and I dropped a quarter in and immediately lost. I mean, it was a short game, but it was so freaking addictive. I after work, I sat there. I took every quarter I could find, and I just started dumping it in that damn game until I got good. So there you go. Donkey Kong. Karen says Pac-Man was her favorite.
I think Pac-Man, like Mike, you hit it right on the head. I think Pac-Man was the catalyst for a lot of the games to come after that. But again, the simplicity of it now, even today, is attractive. It's addictive almost.
Right. Wish I had a quarter right now. All right, so we're going to go from Donkey Kong. I don't know that many people will remember this. And so far as graphics, I'm going to go, it's a bit more pixelated than maybe Donkey Kong was, but the action and the way the game was played, I think, is what introduced us to even more advanced games, because we weren't really gaming back then. We were playing games. I'll show you some pictures. But this one here, I loved it. You know what it is? It's a pretty simple game, and the title is Paperboy.
Don't know it.
And yeah, you never played Paperboy?
No. But
look at the graphics. Again, a bit pixelated. You had papers. You had to throw them up on the porch. There were things you can get, like, well, I'm moving the cursor like you can see it. But there were things you can hit to get points. There were things you had to avoid, like the flower beds.
That almost comes right along with I could see after this like a shooting game or something coming up.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I could see like a shooting game or something coming after this.
I wasn't paying attention to you.
Yeah, Duck Hunter.
That's the next slide, smartass.
That's where my mind went when you said there's things you can hit for points. I'm like, well, shit, that's where
That's
shooting games came
outstanding.
from.
Duck hunt.
Duck hunt, yeah.
The goal for me was always try to get the dog to stand up and hold the dead duck. That's all I played the game for. But if you remember, it was one of the first arcade games where you held something and had to control it through. And this was a gun, but you shot ducks as they flew up out of the field. But you held a gun and you would shoot it. But yeah, my goal was always, like, you can see in the upper right-hand corner, there's that blue duck.
You gotta shoot him, have him fall down. The dog gets it. Down,
and the dog, you could see the dog's butt and a tail running through the grass. And then it would stop and the tail would wiggle. And then the dog would pop up. Look, I found your duck. So there you go.
Duck you.
I got your duck. Whoops.
Yeah. I got your duck, buddy.
Take that one out of there. And what do we got next? Hey, guess what the next one is, Mr. Smarty Pants?
I'd have to guess another shooting type game or
come on,
some sort of skill type of a game. Tetris, maybe? Oh, Mario Brothers, Super Mario
Brothers.
Yes, this was, again, this to me ranks right up there with Pac-Man as far as iconic.
I loved it. Yeah, I agree.
Because even in today's day and age, I mean, just not too many years ago, they came out with the Mario and Luigi movie, and still relative in today's day and age.
But keep in mind, think about this, Ron. We were there for the beginning of all this shit.
Oh yeah,
we watched this progression. What younger, not even younger people, what some younger adults who are into gaming. Look, I don't fault you for it. It's just not my thing. Yeah. But what they don't realize is we were there for ground zero. We watched Pong come into vogue. Prior to that,
again, like you said, look at the pixelation of this versus what Mario Brothers looks like now. This is very abstract. It's you got some funky looking clouds. You got squared off stuff, and Mario looks a little sketchy. But in today's day and age, it's all like cartoonish. Like it looks like an actual movie.
Okay, so there's that. And now what I want to do is, so we've gone, those are 10 slides that I hope kind of took us through the progression that got to the start of what people, what got you to where you are today. I mean, it certainly looked like shit after this, but to us, it looked like, space age. To gamers today, if they go back and look, I'm trying to think of a couple of games, but here's, when we talk about gaming,
Space Invaders.
This is how we gamed, man. This is how we did it.
Yeah, you went to an arcade, and again, you either had tokens that you bought, or you went and bought quarters, one or the other.
Uh-oh. You're gonna have to cover for a minute. I have to go rescue dogs.
Oh no, doggies! But it's funny because arcades are almost making some sort of a weird comeback nowadays. A friend of mine, Paulie. He's an upholstery guy. He has an arcade here in Vegas, and they do quite well. And besides the video arcades, pinball machines are still famous. For those of you that don't remember pinball machines back in the day, matter of fact, we were at, and Michelle, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we were at, what store was it? I can't remember the name of it, but we were shopping for furniture, and we came across some actual pinball machines, and Elena was having a ball playing them. RC Willie was the store, and they were selling live pinball machines. And not only that, but they had not necessarily gaming consoles from what we remembered as kids back in the day, but gaming machines or similar consoles you can play on your TV via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth that have hundreds of the games that we're talking about from back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. All in one unit. Matter of fact, Eric, a young man that works or used to work for us every once in a while, will come out. We were at the outdoor swap meet, and he bought this little Looks like a joystick. If you guys know what a joystick is, it's about yay big. It's got a couple of buttons and a little moving thing on the side of it, and you buy that, and it's like $29.95, but it has like 130 games on it. It's got Donkey Kong, it's got Pac-Man, it's got Asteroid, it's got all those games on it. Mike, we're talking about the difference between going back to the arcades back then. Nowadays, you can buy like a gaming controller now that attaches to your TV now via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, and it has.
You just made me realize
on it.
I have one.
See, there you go.
Yeah,
that you can play. Is that a multi-game one, or is that just an individual game one?
This has got, I think, a number of games on it.
Yeah, and there are no games from back. I was going to say, if you don't mention Joust was like one of my all-time favorite games.
This has got Joust, Gauntlet, and Defender on it.
Yeah, Gauntlet was good. Do you remember?
How do I forget I have this?
I'm gonna take you off track as we always do. But do you remember when? Oh crap! It's gonna escape me right now. Journey had a video game.
Journey did?
Was it Journey?
Like
what does Steve Perry sing for?
Journey.
Yeah, it was Journey. Yeah, there was a video game. I'm gonna GTS that right now. But yeah, there were bands that had video games. And I remember this because next to Sabin Junior High School was a little place called Red Top.
God, I loved Conway's Red Top.
Oh, they were fantastic, weren't they?
Oh, I want one right now.
That was where we would go. This is back in the day when we could actually leave the premises for lunch, and we'd go across the street to Red Top, and we would play video games. Hold on, I'm going to pull it up here.
You still GTSing, and for those that may not be totally hip, GTS is Google that shit.
Let's see here.
While he does that, I'm going to bring you up the last slide I have for the evening. It's another arcade. I thought this was kind of cool because I can tell the game closest to us, that I believe is Centipede. Clearly, my man is playing Defender. I'm not sure. It's not Pac-Man, but I don't know what the one on the end is.
Which one? Oh, down the end there?
Yeah, at the far left.
I don't know.
But that's classic. The reason why this one caught my attention, all right, my man's playing Defender, but is that not classic console game posture?
Oh, absolutely.
Hand on the joystick and you're beating the hell out of the buttons, but there would be like 2 or 3 or sometimes 4 buttons, and you had to know what each one did. So that's...
Well, that leads you into the fighting games,
Right? Right.
Yeah, you had to know kick, punch, jump, duck.
And as you're still trying to GTS, where did you play games? I mean, where did you
go? Skating rink, Red Top, arcade. If there was one close by,
the best arcade around us. We grew up in Village 7, pretty much. The best arcade around us, Harmony Bowling Alley.
Oh, Harmony Bowl, absolutely.
Yeah, me and my peeps, whenever we had quarters, you'd find us hanging out at the Harmony Bowl. In fact, right now I'll tell you, one of my fondest memories of being at Harmony Bowl, playing arcade games, ordering an order of fries. Man, that was heaven. That was heaven, baby.
Yeah, I looked it up. Journey, the video game, came out in 1983.
Wow.
I remember playing that at like I said, at Red Top. There was another one, not Joust, but it was crap. It was one of the big the newer video games that came out back in the day. He was a knight, and you have to go through this. Oops, sorry, this little gauntlet of test to get to the end of it.
Maybe it was Gauntlet.
It might, matter of fact, I think it was.
Well, that's one of the games that's on this thing.
Oh, Dick. Yeah, I think it was.
I think this is it, man.
Yeah.
It sort of has a picture on it, and I think
like a little squire looking knight dude.
Yeah, I think this is it.
Yeah, that was.
See if
that was one of the big games back in the day, also.
Well, there you go. So there's
let's kind of skip a gear here. I know we're at 30 minutes now, but the idea was about gaming, and not necessarily just video games, but do you remember an old game that we used to play called, maybe you didn't play, but Dungeons and Dragons?
Do I look like a Dungeons and Dragons guy?
You kind of do.
The answer to that question is not just no, but hell no.
But even today's day and age, it's a very popular, live, and fervent game still going on today.
Back in my day, Ron, Dungeons and Dragons, there were just some games that weed couldn't even make better.
Hey, you never gamed until you've had a 28-sided dice, buddy.
I'll have to take your word for it. I can't count to 28.
Oh, my friends tell me.
And I'm not wearing sandals. I can't count to 10, 20. All right. No, I wasn't a Dungeons and Dragons guy.
But my point being is it was a game back in the day that is still alive and kicking today. I was never a big fan of it myself.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that nugget, Ron.
Anyway, up next. What do you got next, Mike?
I got nothing. Sorry, dude. I just can't rescue you, Ron. I don't have a lifesaver.
You cannot unbuzzkill that. I'm sorry.
For a moment there, I felt so damn bad for you.
You still do. Shut up. Anyone? Bueller?
Oh, God.
A little help.
Right.
Little help.
Well,
but that was actually a great rendezvous through the video games, and I think the progression was right on track, and it kind of sets the tone for where we're at in today's day and age. Like I said, Michelle had posted up there Roblox, which is a very popular kids game for kids around 10, 12, 13 years old, and there's a few other ones. Now my biggest problem is I'm going to sound like an old guy right now, so please forgive me, but correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, if you feel different, but some of the games in today's day and age are just uberly violent and oversexed.
Oh, please, do you think?
I mean, to the point of where it's like, why does the game have to be how many people you can kill in 30 seconds?
Yeah.
If you're killing zombies or something or monsters, I get it. But, they're not all like that.
Well, no. But I think that's the kind of game. Like, we have a place here. I've never been there. It's called the Vault. I was telling you that backstage, and that's what this is. This is a place where people go, and that's all they do is play these games. They play them, with each other there, or they'll play people online. And these are, and I know these are the games that they play. Is how many death and destruction seems to be, and just crime. Stealing. That's how you earn points, and that's sort of the premise of the game. We didn't have that. Well, we had a gorilla trying to kill. We had violence. We had a gorilla climbing at the top of a bunch of, and he was trying to kill a little Italian dude.
Well, here's a
it was up to us to
PSA, the PSA for everybody, and PSA for those who don't know is a public service announcement, but it's a PSA for everybody. Pay attention to what your kids are playing online today. And Mike, you hit it right in the head. We're not just going and playing on a machine where you're you against the machine. You're playing interactively with people all over the world. and you really have no idea who the hell you're talking to on that other end. So
Right.
if you're a young adult or a kid, especially if you're a parent, man, keep your eyes doubled, man, because
Pay
you never
attention.
know what you're getting into.
I love that point. Very well stated. All right. So on that, Mr. Buzzkill. No, I'm just kidding. I really value what you just said, and I thank you for it.
No, because
So,
and Mike, we're raising our granddaughter, and I am very much a hover dad. I will not deny it. She doesn't go anywhere without us. We're very protective, and we just got her new iPhone. I'm sure you watched the video of that, and I want to tell you
for
one of the.
Elena, I don't watch anything about Elena.
Oh, I know she's horrible, but I want to tell you what the saddest part about that was, Mike, is my wife had to preface that statement by, before you come after us for getting our daughter a phone, it has uber adult restrictions on it.
Right.
But it is, you have to do that because people go, oh my God, you got your kid a phone and they're going to this and that. She can't do shit without getting approved from Michelle.
Good.
Period. She can't get on anything. She can't add anything. She can't even delete anything without getting permission.
Wow.
So it's just one of those things. It was going to happen eventually, and it's kind of a good thing for us, but how much wood could a woodchuck chew? I don't know. If Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear and Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair,
well,
was
then
Fuzzy Wuzzy?
wasn't fuzzy, was he?
I don't know.
So no, I put Mr. Woodchuck up there because I am, after all,
the Italian pole vaulter.
I'm the Italian pole vaulter.
Mike is his own cock block.
I can prove it to you, but y'all are gonna have to back up.
Oh my God. Did you see the TikTok of the guy who goes, the Italian pole vaulter playing a piano concerto, and he goes to sit down, and his hands over, and he goes, and he gets over, and he goes.
I saw they interviewed this poor guy, and it's really kind of comical. He's taking it all in stride. Look, the guy finished first not long ago in pole vaulting, and then I think he finished second. But since he's been in Paris, he's been struggling. So he had 2 failed attempts prior to this one. So now this is what he's going to be known for, right? So he's doing some sort of interview afterwards, and he actually says, yeah, I had a big problem with that vault. And I thought, well, good for you for having a sense of humor. I mean, I'm not making that up. He told whoever was conducting the interview, he said, yeah, I had a big problem.
I'm sorry, but when the problem is your dick gets in the way of you going over the Michelle's like, don't they wear a cup? Well, I guess not that day.
I'm looking at it going, shit, I should have gone into pole vaulting. It's just, this radio thing is, I'm just not
sorry,
there.
buddy. I think you took pole vaulting a little too serious.
All right. We're up against it.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us again, and join us next week. Also, every Wednesday night, 8 Central, 7 Mountain, 6 Pacific. And Mike, where can you find us?
On Facebook and on YouTube.
Are you shitting me? TMI the podcast. I had somebody ask me the other day, Mike, why do you guys call your podcast Are You Shitting Me? Would you care to enlighten us in the next 30 seconds?
Well, because when you and I first started putting this together, it was based on, people bitching about stuff today. And our reaction is, are you shitting me? Back in our day. So
and there you have it.
Came across that. So
there you have it. And that's why, because Mike and I grew up in a day where we just did what we had to. It really wasn't an option back then.
We didn't have a choice.
I hate to sound like Yoda, but you either did or you did not.
That's just it. We didn't. We learned quickly not to bitch and complain because it got us nowhere.
No.
All right.
All right, Mr. Mike, thank you so much for having the slides put together for us tonight. That was a great walk down video game lane. And I look forward to the next one for next week. For those of you that join us later on, please give us your thoughts and ideas, because we will see them later on down the road. Mike, I love you, and we'll see you next week.
Love you too, brother.